Patch 6.3 notes. So the patch notes contain stuff for areas, fates, granted free companies, and the gold saucer. Changes to PvP, obviously. Items, systems, resolved issues, known issues. And we'll get into this. Alright. Players are now able to dive in the waters of Upper Lenoskia. Something to look forward to. Explore underwater up there. There might be some new fishing holes. New main scenario quests have been added. Happens every major patch. Some minor patches have it too. But it leads to unlocking a new dungeon. Used to unlock a couple of dungeons. And more than likely there's going to be another, what's it called? Trial. So, character portraits have been implemented for battle dialogue during main scenario instanced quest battles from 3X patch series. Alright, so there's a feature of character dialogue happening. They will have you have the option of turning it off as well under the controls, but whoever is speaking to you, their face will appear instead of just, blank dialogue. Alright, new era quests have been added. This is the unlocking of the new 24-man Alliance raid. So you go through, and you get the raid, of course. New side story quests have been added. I have a feeling Tales of Newfound Adventure. I don't know what that is going to unlock. Tataru's Grand Endeavor. Yeah. This is going to be island-related stuff, I think. Yeah. Island Sanctuary stuff. New chapters have been added to New Game Plus. If you want to go back and play some old stuff on the same character, you can. Icons will be displayed on the map for the entrance of the following duties. Deep dungeons now have a marker. Wonderful. Wonderful. Field operations. Wonderful. So this is a good thing because it allows players that are new or that are coming back and don't remember where things are, instead of having to go visit a website to remember, or, Well, if you shout in chat, some people will respond appropriately. I haven't seen much trolling happen. So, yeah, that's going to be a good thing. When the location or destination of a quest is not in a city or the open field, a quest icon will now display on the map, indicating the path to reach it. You will now be able to reach quests in unique areas by phone. Okay, so what this is saying, finding your way to a quest that isn't in an active map, one that you can just bring up, it will still guide you to your destination. So you're not going to be wondering, well, where the hell do I go? Chronicle of the New Age quests, Hardly Noah and Gift of the Archmagus will no longer be available. These quests should be abandoned as they can no longer be completed. I don't know what those are, but I more than likely have completed them. Additional information has been added to journal entries for Crystalline Mean and the Studium delivery quests. Quests requiring the procurements of fish now display fishing locations and the bait required. Wonderful addition. Absolutely great addition. Trying to figure out what bait the fish eat is one of the worst parts of the fishing system in this game. Certain quests previously classified as side quests in the journal have been further separated into the following categories: Chronicles of Light, Hildebrand, Weapon Enhancement, Records of the Unusual Endeavors, and Side Story quests. The further delineation The further bifurcation of the quest chain subsections is going to be good for finding where something is, instead of having to go through a list that's, you know, a couple of pages long. All right, deep dungeon quests will be classified as records of unusual endeavors in the journal. Okay. Fate changes. The Fate Steel Rain Odin's level will be fixed at 50. Adjustments will be made to compensate for an unanticipated increase in difficulty caused by value downscaling implemented in patch 6.0. Interesting. New items are available in exchange for bicolor gemstones from the trader NPCs in specific areas. That's going to be the 6.0 and later areas, not the previous expansion gemstone traders. Treasure hunt. Ophiotoro skin treasure maps have been added. They will always lead to Elpis, while there is a small chance of a portal to the shifting Gymnasian Aganon. Rewards from coffers will otherwise remain the same as those found within a Cumberskin treasure mask. Okay. The shifting Gymnasian Aganon has been added. New treasure map dungeon. It looks like it is going to be a roulette wheel version of the dungeon instead of... Yep. So whoever opens the treasure chest is going to get to choose what to do, and... pretty much, you just pray that the RNG is on your side. Rewards in the Excitotron 6000 have been adjusted. So that's the previous dungeon, treasure map dungeon. Rewards for the Kumbira skin treasure maps have been adjusted. Alright. Grand and free companies. New charge symbol options have been added to company crests. Alright. That's gonna be great. New craftable items have been added to the company workshop. We're already working on what I'm guessing is this exterior for our mansion. Following addition, the adjustments have been made to subquatic voyages. New areas have been added, new items, and max submersible rank has been increased to 105. Alright. Wards 25 through 30 have been added to all residential districts, meaning there are 5 new areas to get a house. 6 new areas, sorry. If you're looking for a house, now's the time to go shopping. Lottery entry period for these new plots will begin on this coming Sunday at 7 a.m. So they've got a lottery system in there. If you've never dealt with housing, the lottery system was added recently, and it's to help players actually get a spot instead of having to be online and camping the place when they become available, which prevented a lot of people from getting houses, and you had people that were squatting on lots just to try to sell it to other players, which is a bannable offense. Just keep that in mind. Unrestricted plots have been added to housing classifications. When entering the lottery for an unrestricted plot, you may choose either free company or private plot classification. Furnishings from the Furnishing Design Contest have been added. Okay, so 4 years ago now, they had a design contest, and the winners finally had their stuff digitized and added into the game, so that's great. 4 new furnishings have been added. Portrait furnishings may now be previewed. You may preview portraits in shops, your inventory, or elsewhere by accessing... Okay, that's a step in the right direction. We need to be able to preview what these items will look like when placed. Alright. New Orchestrion roles have been added, and they've made additional classifications for the subcategories. So we've got an additional dungeons and a quests one now. New aquarium fish have been added. Great. New seed for flower pot has been added. Wonderful. Changes at the gold saucer. Alright, new prizes are available for purchasing. If that's a new mount, that's going to be interesting. A new course, Sylph Step, has been added to the Gate Leap of Faith. So adjustments have been made to the gate schedule. Every hour on the hour, Air Force One, Cliffhanger, and Leap of Faith, the falling city of Nim. 20 minutes past the hour and 40 minutes past the hour. Yeah, they just added Sylph Step in there. Okay. New triple triad cards have been added. They do that every patch. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Island Sanctuary. 2 new Sanctuary ranks have been added for a total of 12. A new Vision has been added. New items have been added that are offered by the Horrendous Hoarder NPC in exchange for Island and Seafarer calories. New gathering points have been added. New gatherable materials have been added. The range from which gathering points can be accessed has been increased. Wonderful! The minimap can now be configured to display desired gathering points by accessing Sanctuary settings in the Isle Keeps index. Okay. So if you're just looking for one thing and things overlap, you can select which one. A new Sanctuary crafting recipe has been added, and new produce has been added. New animals, we've got griffins. An option to collect items en masse has been from the produce producer and the creature comforter have been added. That'll be wonderful. That was one of the most tedious things when you had everything just packed and waiting. You had to manually go through. The position of change nickname in the pasture management subcommand menu has been adjusted. It is now possible to free an animal from the pasture upon capturing another when the pasture is at capacity. Good. A new landmark has been added. The orchestrion will now continue to play the selected song even after leaving and returning to your island. When visiting a friend's island, players can now enjoy tunes played from the Isle Keeps orchestrion. Mount music will be prioritized over orchestrion music. New materials can now be acquired from foraging expeditions. It is now possible to dispatch a foraging expedition from the expedition area menu by pressing the Y button on gamepad. Okay. New Isleworks handicrafts have been added. Each heading in the supply and demand menu can now be sorted in ascending-descending order. Good. Wonderful. Time has been added as a filtering option to the supply-demand menu. I don't understand why that wasn't in there first. Multiple conditions can now be selected for filtering the handicrafts. This is important. It's important for one very major reason. When you are trying to figure out what will flow into the next one in your crafting, sometimes you don't remember all the subcategories that a certain item has, so being able to sort them by multiple categories is good. The schedule of previous cycles in the current season can now be viewed in the agenda menu. Popularity, supply, demand shift, and predicted popularity of the selected Islework handicraft is now displayed in the set agenda menu. Good. So you don't have to either remember things or write things down if you're trying to maximize your output. Materials with an insufficient inventory are now displayed in the red materials allocation window. The most recently accessed tab in the material allocation window will now display upon reopening it. A new column displaying the fluctuation in handicraft's value due to supply and demand has been added to the earnings report. Okay. That will help considerably. The mode selected from the Isle Keep index will now remain active until you log out of the game. A notification will now display to indicate when a player has visited your island. New hairstyle options added for the Viera. But can they wear hats yet? And the Hrothgar. Duty support has been added for the following duties: Great Gooba Library, Aether Chemical Research Facility, the Anti-Tower, Sorkai, Zelfatal, and Baelsar's Wall. So you'll be able to do these by yourself with NPCs. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Wondrous Tales. Prizes available have been adjusted. You can now get a Corgi earring and a Corgi I don't remember the word off the top of my head, having a blank. Following duties have been added: Pandemonium Abyssos, 5th through 8th Circles, Lapis Manalis, the Shifting Gymnasium Aganon, and the Clockwork Castle Town, Crystalline Conflict. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the Faux Hollows. New items, and the trial is changed to Containment Bay P1 T6 Unreal. So for anybody that wants to do like extremely difficult endgame rating, that's what Faux Hollows is for. A new emote has been added. It looks like it's checking your link pearl. New poses have been added for the sit emote. Players can change their sitting posture by using change pose while they're sitting. A new pose is now available when holding umbrella-type fashion accessories. Players can change their posture by performing the change pose emote. Battle system changes. Alright, so battle system, there have been some very noticeable changes that I've seen. Okay, so battle system. Paladin, Gladiator, Fight or Flight. The change is that it no longer only affects physical damage, it affects all damage, and the duration has been reduced to 20 seconds. Riot Blade. Potency has been reduced, and the combo potency has also been reduced. Iron Will. Recast time has been reduced 2 seconds from 3. Sheltron. The effect has been changed from block incoming attacks to reduce damage taken by 15%. Alright, Prominence. The amount of MP restored has been increased. The combo bonus grants Divine Might has been added. Does it say what Divine Might is? It does not. The effects of this action have been Goring Blade. The effects of this action have been revamped. It's no longer part of a combo. It now is its own thing that delivers an attack potency of 700. And its recast timer is no longer 2.5, it's 60 seconds. So it's every 60 seconds you've got a free 700 potency attack. Divine Veil. The effect has been changed from upon HP recovery via healing magic cast by self or party member, a protective barrier is cast on all party members, to creates a barrier around self and all party members near you. So they remove the trigger from it, so when you use it, it creates the barrier without needing to heal. So that is a definite bonus. Royal Authority. Potency has been reduced. Same with the combo potency. And the bonus now grants Divine Might. The combo bonus grants Divine Might. Holy Spirit. Potency has been increased to 350 from 300. The Requiescat potency has been increased from 600 to 650. And potency is increased to 450 while under the effects of Divine Might. The effect of Divine Might will be prioritized over Requiescat when under the effect of both. So, what that is saying is, when you are under the effect of Divine Might, which is granted by Royal Authority, you will be able to have an instant cast, no mana cost, use of Holy Spirit, and if you look down here, Holy Circle as well. So the two spells that the paladins use for offense, and which also has functioned as a heal, and I'd have to double check to see if it still will function as a heal, but those will now have an additional means of being used as an instant cast, instead of just, when you use Requiescat. Now, there was a change made to Requiescat that is important. It's not that the potency has been reduced, it's that the maximum stacks have been reduced. So instead of 5, you now have 4, meaning you've got 3 free casts of anything before you go into the Confiteor combo chain. So something to keep in mind if you play Paladin. The effect of Requiescat has been changed from increases the potency of the spells that will require no cast time to increases the potency of Holy Spirit, Holy Circle, and all Confiteor combat actions and spells will require no cast time. The additional effect grants Blade of Faith ready when the effect of Requiescat ends has been changed to grants Confiteor ready. So, something to remember with that is you lose one, but the changes that they've made give you a free one every time you finish your base combo. Atonement, the potency has been reduced for Atonement. Holy Circle, very much like Holy Spirit, it Divine Might, Requiescat, it prioritizes Divine Might. Confiteor, potency has been reduced from 1,000 to 400, but potency is increased to 900 while under the effect of Requiescat. Potency will be reduced to 50% for the second and all remaining enemies. The effect of Requiescat no longer ends upon execution. Requirement for execution has been changed from while under the effect of Requiescat to while under the effect of Confiteor ready. So it looks like they changed a few things. So Paladins out there, you're gonna just have to play through a few things, and I'm trying to explain it as best I can. But without playing with it a bit more, I would not be able to say definitively what all is there. Holy Sheltron has been changed to reduces damage taken by 15%. Expiation, why didn't I say that before? Potency has been increased to 450 and reduces the potency for the second and all remaining enemies has been increased to 60%, so you do more damage to a larger group with that one now. Blade of Faith, MP cost has been increased to 1,000. Potency has been reduced to 200, but its potency is increased to 700 while under the effect of Requiescat. And it no longer restores magic. So your mana does not replenish from that. And Blade of Truth, MP cost has been increased to 1,000. Potency is 800 while under the effect of Requiescat. And it no longer restores mana. Potency has also been nearly halved. So what they want you to do is yeah. Okay, I reading on, I figured out what they did. So you use Requiescat, and then you do Confiteor, Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, Blade of Valor. So the way that I had been using it previously, and that any paladin worth their salt would have been using it, is Confiteor, or Requiescat, use 4 charges to get out easy magic, damage or heals if you need it, and then on the last one you activate the chain using Confiteor. What it looks like they want you to do now is use the Requiescat specifically for the chain with Confiteor, because all the damage is diminished unless you're under the effect of Requiescat. Because Blade of Valor MP cost has been increased to 1,000, and the potency has been reduced to 400, unless you're under the effect of Requiescat, in which case it's up to 900, so it increases considerably. No longer restores mana, and it no longer does a dot on the targets. So overall, there's been a damage improvement for Paladin and a mitigation improvement as well. Divine Magic Mastery, the combo bonus grants Divine Might, has been added. Enhanced Prominence, now acquired at level 72 instead of 66. Combo bonus grants Divine Might. Enhanced Divine Veil, the healing effect of Divine Veil now applies upon execution rather than when the barrier is applied to targets. Alright. So it looks like Paladin has got some great changes. I approve of these changes. Alright, for Warrior, Defiance, the recast time is reduced to 2 seconds, and Shake It Off. The barrier effect duration has been increased from 15 to 30 seconds. And the additional effect gradually restores HP has been added with a potency of 100. So they gave Warriors an additional healing source. Warriors, if you are not familiar with them, are the most broken when it comes to self-healing. Dark Knight, Grit, the recast timer has been changed. Gunbreaker, Royal Guard, the recast timer has been changed. What Defiance, Grit, Royal Guard, and where is it? Iron Will are the tank stances. You turn those on, you generate more threat. So those have been done. Monk, Riddle of Earth. Recast time has been increased from 30 seconds to 120, so it's now on par with others. The effect grants 3 stacks of Riddle of Earth, each stack reducing damage taken by 20%, has been changed to reduce damage taken by 20%. Action charges have been removed. The additional effect grants Earth reply upon taking damage has been added, gradually restoring HP with a cure potency of 100. So they have made it, instead of a stacked mitigation, they've turned it into a self-heal whenever you take, no, not even whenever you take damage. It just gives you a regen, which I suppose is nice. So that's an overall boost, I think, because a damage reduction and a heal. Good for a monk. Life Surge. Recast time has been reduced to 40 seconds for Life Surge on Dragoons. Bard. Nature's Min. Or Mine. Recast time has been increased to 120 seconds. The effect has been changed from increases HP recovered via healing actions for a party member herself by 20% to increases HP recovery via healing actions by 15% for self and nearby party members. Okay, so this turns, instead of having to target somebody with this, you just need to be near them and activate it, and it functions very much like Mantra for the monk. So it's healing increase for everybody around you in your party. Machinist. Goss round. Potency has been increased. Hypercharge now grants 5 stacks of Overheated. Effect duration has been increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So that's going to be good. Wildfire. The effect of Wildfire can now be stacked a maximum of 6 times. Ricochet potency has been increased. Heated Slugshot. Combo potency has been increased. Base damage does not change. Heated Clean Shot. The combo potency has been increased. And Marksman's Mastery, increase of potency for Heated Clean Shot has been changed to 120. So, a bunch of buffs for Machinist. Dancer. Oh, wonderful. So, instead of being locked out of these and having your dance not function properly, you can now use Curing Waltz and Shield Samba while you are in mid-step, so great benefit there. White Mage, Assize, recast time has been reduced, so they now have access to an AoE heal, and I think damage, more often. Lemma, 1, 2, 3 have all had their cast times reduced, and Adder Sting, stacks of Adder Sting are now also granted when the barrier granted by Eucrasian Prognosis to self is completely depleted. If I knew Sage, that would make sense to me. I still haven't played Sage, so I apologize for not being able to give any advice with that one. New actions and traits have been added. Okay, so release Iron Will, it now turns off the tank stance. Bulwark, block incoming attacks for 10 seconds. That is a return of an old skill, I believe. And then Enhanced Requiescat grants the effect Confiteor Ready. Marauder, Warrior, you can turn off tank stance. Dark Knight, release Grit, you can turn off Gunbreaker, removes it. Dismantle for Machinists, lowers target's damage dealt by 10% for 10 seconds. So a common skill for other range or for other DPS. Miscellaneous adjustments have been made to action, trait, and status effect descriptions have been made. Alright, so it looks like they spent a lot of time revamping Paladin this patch. I'm wondering if the other classes will get their own special attending to later on. Alright, so we did that. Alright. Icons indicating physical, magical, and unique damage will now display in the battle log. Vacuum Wave physical, Fire 3 magical, Black Hole special. The time remaining for enhancing and enfeebling effects will now be displayed on the party list. Ooh. That is going to be interesting. This option can be enabled or disabled via the Party List tab under UI Settings in the Character Configuration menu, and is also applicable in PvP areas. That part is going to be fun. So, yeah, it's just something else that your graphics card will render for you, but it will be nice to know without having to click on the tank when, you know, their regen is going to end. So, that's a good thing. Text color for the recast timer in the middle of action icons when enlarged has been adjusted for certain actions. Okay. That's a quality of life change for people that are having difficulty seeing some things. New dungeon, Lapis Manalis, has been added. Players may enter the dungeon with trust or duty support NPCs. That is the new storyline dungeon, and this is the new storyline trial. So, I don't know what it's called. I'm not gonna... You want to find out what it's called? Either watch my videos later on and watch me go through them. I plan on running through them tomorrow and Saturday and get the videos up ASAP because we got new content this week. Alright. So, things to pay attention to. Average item level for the new dungeon is 590 or above. And for the new trial, it's going to be 610 or above. So you're going to have to, if you haven't gotten new gear, you're going to have to get new gear. I'm going to have to get new gear for my bunny. Alright, totem exchange. When you complete this trial, there will be a totem exchange when you enter into the... 610 or higher is for the, not Savage, the hard mode. So it's 595 for the normal mode. And then Containment Bay, P1, T6, Unreal. You need to be average item level 560 or higher. And that is just a challenge for players. And it will be unlocked automatically for players who have completed the Fantastic Mr. Foe. The drop rate for Blue Feather Lynx Flute has been increased. It can now be purchased for totems in Radzat Han. So that is going to be the ultimatum token from previous trial. The weekly restrictions on rewards in Pandemonium Abyssos has been removed, so you can go in there farm Pandemonium now. The number of unsung blades of Abyssos required to exchange for ultralight tombstones has been reduced to 4, so you only need to go in 4 times to get it. Or 4 weeks. I don't know if you still only get 1 per week. Best to check on that. Reaper and Sage weapons are now available from coffers that appear after completing Omega Alphascape Savage. Okay, that's nice. New Alliance Raid Dungeon, Euphrosyne, has been added. And yes, I know how it's spelled. I actually looked up pronunciation because it's something that I like to know about with certain things, and this is a Greek goddess named Euphrosyne. So, in order to gain access, you have to be 90, of course, average item level of 595 or higher, and it's going to be the new 4-man, or the new 24-man raid where you've got 4 bosses to kill. So, following adjustments have been made to Aglaia. Players will no longer be rewarded with cracked antho clusters upon completing Aglaia. You can now get them from here. Following adjustments have been made to deep dungeons. A next button has been added to the item appraisal window, allowing players to more easily appraise additional items. The Deep Dungeon Guide interface has been adjusted. Players can now view the Deep Dungeon Guide via the character info window, even after entering the duty. Good. That's honestly something I wish they had done sooner. Sustaining potion effect duration has been increased to 30 seconds in Palace of the Dead, and the Imperium potion effect in Heaven on High has been increased to 30 seconds. The items required to enhance equipment purchased with Allegan Tombstones of Causality, Moonshine Twine and Moonshine Shine, can be purchased from the following vendors. You can purchase them with sacks of nuts and a coin from Aglaia and Euphrosyne. Upgrading equipment. After acquiring the items, you just speak to the appropriate NPC, Chaldean in Radzat Han. Following duties have been added to the Raid Finder. So the new Trial and Unreal. The duty Storm's Crown Extreme has been removed from the Raid Finder to the Duty Finder. So that is the previous raid, or previous trial. Players will now receive the Power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the following trials: Storm's Crown and Storm's Crown Extreme, after a certain amount of time has passed in the fight. You have to make it far enough to get the bonus. The strength of the Echo granted in Pandemonium Asphodelos Savage has been increased. It can now go up to 20%. The duties listed within Duty Roulette Expert have changed. So we've got Lapis Manalis added to it, and Alzadal's Legacy removed. The new minimum requirement for the Duty Roulette is 590 Expert. Following adjustments have been made to the Duty Roulette level 90 dungeons. Alzadal's Legacy has been added, and the requirement is now up to 560. The new trial has been added to the roulette for trials, and Mentor has changed to have Lapis Manalis, Euphrosyne, and the new trial in it. You need to be 595 to be a Mentor in the roulette. Alright. The new trial has been added to Stone, Sky, and Sea, which is the testing zone. If you don't want to jump into the thing right away, you can go to Stone, Sky, and Sea and practice. It's really good because in a lot of games they don't give you the option. You have to actually enter the fight in order to practice it. So, practice. I might start doing something with that in the future. Adjustments have been made to the following instance: dungeons. Oh goody! These are dungeons I'm going to have to rerun now. Okay. So, the Byblos boss fight has been adjusted in Great Google Library, as has the Ever-Living Bibliotaph. The Aetherochemical Research Facility. 3 of the boss fights have been adjusted. Regula Van Hydrus, La Habrea, and Egeorum. And the Ashian Prime boss. The Anti-Tower, Ziggy and Calcabrina has been changed. Storkai, Chieftain Moglin, Okaraj, and Hraesvilger have been changed. I actually need to find the pronunciation of that name. And Zelfatal, the Nuzul Huelak boss, and the Dotoli Silak boss have been adjusted. And the Griffin in Baelsir's Wall has been adjusted. The display of target indicators for certain battle mechanics has been adjusted for the following duties: the Aether Chemical Research Facility, Malika's Well, Paglathon, Battle on the Big Bridge, The Final Steps of Faith, The Minstrel's Ballad, Needhog's Rage, Castrum Fulminus, Minstrel's Ballad, Tsukiyomi's Pain, Kugane Ohashi, and the Orban Monastery. So I'm gonna have to... I don't think I've got to do that because it doesn't change the fight, it just changes indicators. But it would probably be a good idea to go through them just to be on the safe side. Alright, PvP. To let you know, past couple weeks, I was getting my kitty cat up to rank 25 to get the mount. And I did a lot of PvP, and I actually got really good in the final days. I was having like 7-8 kills with no deaths, and 40 assists kind of fights. So I was getting good in those final days. So changes to PvP. Warrior, Orogeny. HP consumed when executed has been reduced from 20% to 10%. Just what they need, less health being lost. Warriors are a pain in the butt. Not as much as Dark Knights. Salt and Darkness. Bind effect duration has been reduced. Good. Good. I like this. Salt and Darkness for Dark Knights in PvP. It's a draw in and it roots them. So, a common tactic was to have a Dark Knight with a Summoner or a Dragoon, and the Dark Knight would jump in, do his thing, then the other one would summon their limit break. Gunbreaker, Aurora. Healing potency has been increased to 1200. Regen potency has been reduced, or healing potency has been increased from 8,000 to 12,000, and the regen potency has been reduced from 4,000 to 3,000. So initial heal is going to be greater, but the regen is going to be less. Ninja. Shukuchi recast timer has been increased. Good. Seitan Tenchu deathlink duration has been reduced. I don't know what that is, but Bard, Final Fantasia. This is their limit break. Effect has been changed to apply to self and all party members within a radius of 30 yalms, instead of applying it to... Oh, finally! Finally, bards get a buff in PvP. So this increases damage dealt and other stuff, and not having it apply to the bard, it's just kind of like, well, I'm here. Can't do much with it aside from a minor increase in cast time. So I'm grateful for that change. I play a bard in PvP. They are the most gimped class in PvP. But they are good when they're with a group. One-on-one, a bard is going to not do very well against most of the other classes, but in a party, they are literally changing. Like, yeah. Most of their stuff buffs the rest of the party, so if you play a bard and you're running around soloing, you're doing something wrong. Astrologian. The arrow effect duration has been increased to 15 seconds, and Celestial River limit gauge charge time has been reduced from 120 to 105 seconds. Okay, so they will get their limit gauge faster. Alright, limit gauge charge time will now be included in the limit break help text, which is nice to know. Actions that increase movement speed will now include the rate of increase in their help text. Great. Players will no longer be able to register for multiple duties simultaneously when registering for a PvP duty during or via the duty finder. Okay, so you have to pick one. Series 2 will end and Series 3 will begin. Yep. So until patch 6.4, we are now in Season 3, and we've got some new goodies to pick up. Please note that rewards from Series 2 can only be claimed until the end of Series 3, so if you've done PvP, go claim your rewards now. Log in next time you're able to and get your PvP rewards, or they will be lost. Crystalline Conflict. A new area. The Clockwork Castletown has been added. So, arena events. Trick floors. Standing upon a trick floor for too long will trigger a tatami twist, launching the unwitting loiterer into the air and inflicting damage. So, this is going to be where you want to trap people, root them, stun them, keep them on there until they get hit with that, because they'll get launched up and they'll take damage from falling. Trick doors. Players who approach these false gates will find themselves teleported instantly to another door far away from their expected trajectory. Trick doors only operate in one direction, so attempting to return the way you came will prove useless. So these, I would say, save as a getaway type thing, or try to use them strategically if they have the same destination each time. They're going to be strategically valuable if they are static. If they are fluctuating, then they are going to be RNG. I'm hoping RNG. The Pneumatic Parade. Commencing after the match is well underway, the Pneumatic Parade triggers the appearance of certain events and NPCs. Clockwork Yojimbo. He travels a predetermined path along the arena and unleashes strong physical attacks upon arriving in the vicinity of the center point. Checkpoints and goals. The Clockwork Onmyoji travels a predetermined path through the arena and debilitates players with its gaze upon arriving in the vicinity of the center point, checkpoint, and the goals. Players who meet the gaze will be shrunk in size, deal less damage, move slower, and take greater damage. So you basically get hit with a mini. Piles of gold. Kageyama will appear upon the stage outside the arena and shower combatants with coin. Players who get their hands on a pile of gold will have their limit gauge filled. Ooh. I like that. So pile of gold equals filled limit break. With the addition of the Clockwork Castletown, the following adjustments have been made to the arena rotation for casual ranked matches. So we've got 3, and now it goes it went to Palestria, Volcanic Arc, Cloud9, and now it goes Palestria, Volcanic Arc, Clockwork Castletown, Palestria, Cloud9, Clockwork Castletown. To facilitate easier acquisition, medicine kits and bomb cores will be obtainable from a greater distance. Not sure I like that. 1 player per job setting will no longer apply to spectators of custom matches. Okay, so if you're going in to view something, your job won't matter. Having more than one of the same job in a match could make it extremely lopsided. So if you had like 2 players that were set up with monks, that would, if they knew what they were doing, that would basically guarantee that team the win. Because monks or samurai can literally insta-kill almost anybody. If their limit gauge is full, I should say. The following additions and adjustments have been made to custom matches. All combatants, a button allowing players to register for a rematch will be added to the match results screen. All combatants must agree to a rematch, and no more than 5 consecutive matches can be held in this manner. Okay. So it keeps you from constantly playing the same group, and it allows you to play the same group over again. Player tiers will no longer be displayed with portraits or match results. Good. Hiding people's ranks is, I think, a very good thing when you're doing something like this, because I have seen that in some matches I've gone into, if there was somebody that was like, the other team was all silver rank or gold rank, and there was only like 1 person on your team that was ranked at all in that, like, above bronze rank, then the people on your team just kind of half-assed it. They would not put their full efforts in. So I think that this is a good idea to not display what your actual rank is. So Season 4 will end and Season 5 will begin. When the season ends, the top 100 ranking players from each data center will receive vouchers via the Moogle delivery service. Players finishing in the bronze tier or higher can claim rewards by speaking with the seasonal quartermaster at the Wolf's Den. Players will begin Season 5 risers lower than the rank that they finished Season 4 in. Rising stars will be reset to 0. So going back to this tiers, the other thing with that is, if you know that somebody is like, the other team only has 1 person that's got a decent rank, people will focus fire that person. Just as a means of, yeah, this is the player that knows what they're doing over there, so we should take them out first. And so it levels the playing field for good players and bad players alike. So I approve of this. The number of current seasons will now be displayed in the following window: PvP Profile and Duty Finder. We have come to items. We have now moved past combat system. We are about 2/3 of the way done. New items have been added. And you can see some beautiful stuff. This, I think, is the gear from the new raid. New recipes have been added. I will need to... the new recipes will be listed at a later date. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. There are a lot. And it looks like it is a lot of the Valentine's Day stuff and the Little Ladies' Day stuff. So holiday gear is now unisex. More holiday gear is unisex. So that's going to be a good thing for the RP community. Following items have had their names changed. Gentleman's Valention Rose Chest is now the Dashing Valention Rose Chest, and the ladies has been changed to Prim. So they've changed the names of certain items to make them appropriate for unisex, but opening coffers that have been signed will now transfer said signature to all items within. This change applies to crafted sets of paladin arms, such as Shinryu's ephemeral paladin arms and Fey Crown's paladin arms. Okay. So if you're a crafter and you make one of these chests for somebody, so you don't have to craft the shield and the sword separately, when the chest is opened, your signature is going to be on those items. So people know where they got the item. Knowing who crafted the item, I think is a good thing, because if you want to track down the crafter to see if they are willing to make something for you, it lets you do that. On the flip side of it, if you don't like the person that crafted the item, you can always skip buying their items. Following items are now dyeable. The Chocobo Mask, the Chocobo Suit, Racing Chocobo Mask, and the Fat Chocobo Head. Following items have been made to the Glamour... The Glamour Dresser has been changed. Items may now be filtered by level, gender, or keyword. Items may be sorted by item level per category, and an item search function has been added. When you've got 800 items that you can put in there, that is a wonderful thing to have. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, or submitted for expert delivery missions. This applies to gear that was obtained from dungeons in 6.2, particularly the, I think it's the 610, the 600 or 610 gear that you get from the 8-man raids. Not Alliance raids, the normal raids. Alright, the option to display only recently added items has been added to script exchanges and sundry splendors. So you don't have to search through the list. You can now show recently added items for those. Crafted item level 610 equipment can now be exchanged for upgraded item level 620. It requires Hanish certificate of grade 2 import Dharmic Rain to do so. And you can do that in Radzat-Han, Rashti. Acquiring upgraded gear. Confirm the requisition number of Hanish certificates of grade 2 imports and bottles of Dharmic Rain for your desired gear by speaking to Rashti beforehand. Hanish certificates of grade 2 import can be received from him in exchange for level 610 equipment. Dharmic Rain can also be received from Rashti in exchange for Allegan Tomestones of Astronomy. After acquiring the requisite number of certificates, you can exchange those and the rain for the gear that you want. NPC vendors that deal in items obtained from extreme trials will now appear according to player progression. Okay. That is going to be less headache. New items have been added in the inventory of Calamity Salvagers. So, Calamity Salvagers are usually by the male Moogle in the 3 main cities, and they will, if you accidentally destroyed an item, they will be able to give it back to you. Specific items, special items. Players can now speak with Anden to complete custom deliveries. By completing these custom deliveries, players can receive guild experience points, crafter scripts, or gatherer scripts. So this is the new crafting. No, this is just custom deliveries. Alright. So you need to be in the Crystarium for that one. And you have to have completed Endwalker, Go West Craftsman. So I think you might have to complete some of the crafting quests in Endwalker. The following additions and adjustments have been made to custom deliveries. The requirement bonus for deliverable unlocked at maximum satisfaction has been adjusted. In the event that maximum satisfaction has been achieved with all custom delivery NPCs, bonus deliverables for each category are guaranteed to appear for 2 or more NPCs. So you get more chances to turn stuff in. The display location subcommand has been added to deliverable fish. Choosing the subcommand will bring up the map of the relevant fishing hole. So that is a good thing. You don't have to go searching through all of your fish. You'll be able to find it. Information regarding preferred bait has been added to the dialogue option, so you'll know where to find the fish and what it eats. The names of certain categories under special recipes in the crafting log have been adjusted. Before it was story, now it's class, and before it was Ishgard Restoration, and now it's side story. Okay, because Ishgard has been restored. Sorry if you're before this point in storyline, but this is a side story. The animation for Trained Finesse has been changed. The following actions have been reclassified as Gatherer role actions and may be used by all Gathering classes once learned. Prospect, Lay of the Land 2, Truth of the Mountains. Triangulate, Arbor Call 2, Truth of Forests, Fathom, Shark Eye 2, and Truth of Oceans. So, what this means is that you can be gathering as a miner or a botanist or a fisher, and you will be able to be pinged when certain nodes pop for the other classes. So you don't have to constantly be switching back and forth. You can go about your gathering in a zone, and then, oh, the mining thing is about to pop. You don't have to be reminded of that. It's just going to pop up and say, hey, go this direction in the zone. So that's going to be easier for gathering. The category Ishgardian Restoration in the Gathering Log has been changed to side quests. New miner and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. Miners and botanists will be unable to attempt to obtain items with a gathering rate of 0. So if you access a node and your gear isn't up to snuff, then you can't gather that item. Gathering attempt and integrity bonuses have been added to certain legendary nodes. Collectability values will now be displayed for reference when gathering. Good. That is a very good addition. These values may prove useful to reference when procuring collectibles for appraisers or custom delivery NPCs, or when attempting to gain items other than crystals from ethereal reduction. New fish have been added. New teeming waters have been added. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the fishing guide. Oh, good. The number of fish displayed per page has been increased to 100. Entries will now display prime locations. Fishing, spearfishing locations not yet unlocked will appear as question mark, as will the prime locations for certain fish that have yet to be caught. Entries for fish that have been caught before will now display their preferred bait. Finally! Preferred bait for big fish, living legends, and fish obtainable via ocean fishing will appear as question mark regardless. So, for that, just visit websites to find out what they like. Or, if you want to experiment, feel free to experiment. Entries for fish that have been caught via spearfishing will now display their silhouette size, small, medium, or large. Weather restrictions, time restrictions, and special conditions will be displayed under Additional Information. Required regional folklore and collectability details will also appear in this category. A text search feature has been added, and filters have been added. So it looks like region, regional folklore, big fish, collectible. Alright, total successful fishing endeavors and caught fish will now be displayed in records. Records for spearfishing can now be sorted via region via a pull-down menu. Regions unavailable for spearfishing at current level will not display. The level cap for desynthesis has been increased to 620. New mounts have been added. Oh, we've got a pink elephant. Looks like that comes from the new treasure chest map. New chocobo barding has been added. New minions have been added. We get a corgi. The following adjustments and additions have been made to fashion accessories. New accessories have been added. Umbrella-style accessories can now be used automatically depending upon location and weather conditions. Set a preferred umbrella for automatic use via the Enable Auto Umbrella subcommand in the Fashion Accessories window. Applicable areas, large settlements, residential districts, firmament, and island sanctuaries. It is now possible to converse with NPCs, craft, or engage in other activities while using a fashion accessory. They will not be displayed during certain activities, but they will be displayed immediately after, so they won't just disappear after you do something and you have to re-pull them out, so that'll be a good thing. Alright, system changes. When using the data center travel system, you are still in another data center. After 30 days, you will automatically be be returned to your home world. If you cannot find your desired character on the character selection screen, please check your home world via the appropriate data center. Depending upon the timing of your last logout, you may have returned after more than 30 days have passed. So, what that means is that if you are logged out on a different world and you have been lapsed in your payment, or you're coming back for this, for the patch after a couple months of not playing, you're going to be on your home world again. It's easier to do it this way for clutter's sake. The following additions and adjustments have been made to retainers. Cast Glamour and Dye Items options have been added to retainer menu. Cool. These options can be applied to items equipped by the summoned retainer or held in the inventory. Player character must have the appropriate glamour prisms and dispeller dyes. Okay. The Try On Retainer subcommand has been added to items. This will display the selected gear on the currently summoned retainer. The Entrust Duplicates function has been added. The Entrust Duplicates button will automatically search for items in your inventory that can be stacked with those already in the retainer's possession. Applicable items will also be listed in a confirmation window, from which you can deselect those items that you do not wish to move at that time. Okay, good. I like that they added this, and I like that you're able to, like, see what you're putting in there first, because, you know, there are sometimes items that you keep split for a purpose. So that will make inventory maintenance a lot easier. A specific error message will now be displayed when failing to withdraw a unique item due to the same item being present in the player's inventory. New items can now be obtained from quick exploration ventures. New retainer exploration ventures have been added. I will have to check those out. Alright, new achievements and titles have been added. Certain achievements previously included in the General Quests category have been moved to the new Main Scenario and Job Role Quests category. Certain duties will now count toward the completion of achievements. Furthermore, Containment Bay S1 T7 Unreal is no longer required. So this is changing the tanking achievements requirements. And these are things that are being added to them or changed about them. The Aethernet map will now display when accessing an Ethernet shard in the firmament. Good, because that was annoying me. In order to prevent server congestion immediately after the release of patch 3.1, we will be implementing multiple field instances for Garlemald. We'll monitor server activity, and they'll change it as time goes on. The division of Ultima Thule into multiple instances added to alleviate congestion in patch 6.25 will be removed. Alliances formed via Party Finder will now be able to use party chat before entering a duty. Good. New dungeons are available for Explorer mode. So they've added ones that you can go in and just like wander around in. So Sastasha, Copperbell, a lot of them. You can see them right here. The duties that can be recorded have changed. Asphodelos has been removed. Abyssos has been added. 8th Circle Savage. Everything else is the same. Following changes have been made to group pose. New stickers have been added, new frames have been added, specific RGB values can now be adjusted with sliders in the lighting settings, and data center name will now also be displayed when Display Home World is selected in sticker mode. The following additions and adjustments have been made to Adventurer plates. New accents have been added, additional playstyle options have been added. VNC Dungeons, Yoman Mahjong, Island Sanctuary, and achievements. Following additions and adjustments have been made to portraits. New accents, new poses. The default background for new portraits will now be the ether rather than solid gray. The import settings from Adventure Plate subcommand has been added to the portrait window. The Apply Adventure Plate subcommand has been added to the portraits window. A warning icon will now appear if the portrait currently being edited does not fulfill necessary requirements. The character's expression is not in frame, stuff like that. I was messing around with it, and if your face isn't in there, then you get this big, like, notification in the upper right-hand corner of the image, so it'll let you know. Party member instant portraits will now display at the start of the following duties: dungeons, guild tests, trials, raids, alliances, deep dungeons, and variant and criterion dungeons. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Only the 8 portraits belonging to the immediate party will be visible during raids. Once a certain amount of time has passed or the battle has begun, party member portraits will be hidden. Portraits can be redisplayed at any time in the duty by opening duty information and selecting Display Party Member Portraits from the Functions tab, or by clicking on the notifications that remain on the screen a length of time following portraits being hidden. The display of party member portraits can be toggled on and off by using UI in the character configuration window and checking in Show Party Member Portraits at Start of Duty under Instant Portraits in the General tab. Okay, so I'm going to have to remember this because I went looking for a way to turn that off and I wasn't able to find it. So it's going to be UI settings, character configuration. So character configuration, UI settings, and then show party members under the portraits in general tab. Okay. It is now possible to display party member portraits in the player commendation window, not condemnation. This can be toggled off in the same area, it looks like. All right. Following adjustments and additions have been made to the UI themes. A new clear blue theme has been added. Apply this new theme via the settings in the system configuration window. If you like the way that looks, use it. A theme previously named Classic has been renamed to Classic Final Fantasy, or Classic FF. The number of waymark save slots has been increased from 5 to 30. Current gil is now displayed in the inventory. Pull-down menus in the currency settings window now display each currency's icon alongside its name. After selecting an item for Grand Company Expert Delivery, the list will automatically adjust upon redisplay so that items before and after the delivery item are visible. A button to reset the order of cross-world link shell channels has been added. In accordance with this, the provisional method for performing this function implemented in patch 6.25 will be removed. Okay, so you can't use reset settings cross-world link shell. Display settings for system UI elements, hotbars, and duty UI elements have been added to the HUD layout window so that all can be adjusted in tandem. Great! There are a few things more frustrating than getting into a fight and having a button pop up that you need to move because it's being blocked by other aspects of the user interface. So, that'll be good. Automatic camera pivot can now be disabled when legacy type movement is enabled, allowing for seamless play with the camera at any angle. Applying this setting by going to Control Settings in the character configuration window and selecting Disable Camera Pivot. Okay. Custom settings for camera control applied to the character configuration menu will now be reflected in the try-on feature and portrait editor preview images. Options to disable the right-click targeting of certain types of targets have been added. Okay, so you can disable right-click selection of player characters, of non-player characters in battle, and of minions. The following options have been added to the system configuration menu. Disable camera pivot, UI settings, general tab, instant portraits, and party settings. Okay, so this is one I'm going to have to go turn on. So if you want to make any changes to your UI, these are the control settings for portraits and status effects on players and camera pivot. The following options have been added to the system configuration menu. Theme setting, clear blue. The date of latest revision has been added to the cast credits. They got new actors for the voice this patch, it seems. The following additions and adjustments have been made to text commands. Link Pearl is a new command, and subcommands motion, perform motion only. So you can use this as a means of, yeah. You can set these up, right-click PC, right-click Battle NPC, right-click Minion. Those are the options that you've got. So if you want to set up your personal commands, this is where you would come to look. I'm not too well versed on the commands because I don't use the text commands often. The total slots that can be specified with the save and preset subcommands of the waymark text commands have increased from 5 to 30. The additional action text command is no longer available. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary. Good. Additions have been made to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 autocomplete dictionary. New trophies have been added for PS5. Certain trophies will become available in patch 6.35. New music, sound effects, and voices have been added. Retrieve character data has been added to the subcommand menu or the character selection screen. I'm guessing that the command retrieves the data necessary for editing a character's appearance or name, even when the default display of the character information has been simplified due to server congestion. Okay, that is going to be good for players that like to change their appearance a lot. Or that just need to change their appearance, period. Return to home world has been added to the subcommand menu of the character selection screen. So this means that you don't have to log in to return a character to your home world. You just do that and it will transfer the character over after a certain amount of time, I think. Alright. I'm not going to read through the resolved issues or the known issues. But, those are the patch notes for 6.3. So, if you made it through all of this, congrats. Thank you for watching all of this. If you have any questions regarding any of these things, feel free to ask them in the comments below. The videos will be upcoming for the duties. There should be there will be a lot of new videos coming because there are a lot of places that changed. Where are the duties? Was it up here? Yeah. No? Anyways, I will find and do the new stuff. So just go through and see what's changed in the new in the duties. Is it after? Yeah, it was after. Here we are. So Great Google Library, Research Facility, Anti-Tower, Sorkai, Zelftal, and these lovely instances as well. I'm gonna have to go through again. Some of these will probably be on healer. So, yeah. That's gonna be it for this. So, thank you anybody that came in to watch. If you're watching this on YouTube, do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe if you want to. I'm not gonna hold it against any of you if you don't. But yes, new content coming soon. New content starting tomorrow. And we will have some fun in these coming weeks. And hopefully life is settled down enough that I can get back to making these on a regular basis. So, much love. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. See you soon. I'm out.